for subfigures, we'll go look at that we'll look at that in some time. Okay, and these are for NatBib and stuff. NatBib is actually for the site references, and at the bottom with NatBib and API, like we set the bibliography styles accordingly, and as a result, the bibliography will look something like this. Bibliography will look something like this. So if I were to zoom this to, let me give about 150%. Yeah, you see this bibliography style, it's nice, like Linson and Howe 1988, like that. It's in running style. So if I want to give a parenthesis, I just have to use cite p command. Okay, now this is colored. If you see, if you just take my arrow to the bibliography reference, it just says go to page 50. And this kind of hyperlinking reference is actually possible with this package hyperref, with this package hyperref, and with this package hyperref. Okay, now I'll just come okay, with this package hyperref. Okay, and now what else? Symbols, this part, fine, fancy HDR. Yeah, the header. Now this is how the header looks like. You have the chapter name on the left, sorry, on the right. Okay, yeah, sorry, chapter name on the right, and the section name on the left, with the numbering as well. And this is actually set by this page style fancy, and this line head rule width, this line over here that separates the header and the main document, this is 0.4 pixels wide, and that is actually set by this command, renew command, head rule width. And similarly the footer is also in the same manner, it's also set by this command over here. Okay, and then after that, says spacing. You see the document has a kind of a uniform spacing, and the spacing is actually 1.5 times the actual spacing, and that is accomplished by this command over here. Okay, and then EPS to PDF is actually for including the EPS images into it. That's not a problem. URL, that's fine. Input ENC, okay. Babel, fancy HDR, we saw that. Subfigure, we'll see that in a moment. Geometry we saw. Okay, and that's about it. And after that, what we have is that we just start our document. Now if I were to go to the top, okay, if you see the page, if you look at the page numbers, what I've done is that I just begin the document, and I've set the page numbers to be starting from, I set the page numbering format to be Roman. So as a result, the first page, the title page will not have any page numbers, but afterwards, from the acknowledgement onwards, the page number will be present. So if I were to zoom this up, you see this, it's in Roman letters. This is in 2, this is 3, and afterwards this abstract is 4, and then table of contents are also numbered 5, 6, so on and so forth. So this page numbering sets the page numbering throughout the document to be in Roman. From this point onwards, we'll change it, and then to include chapters and include title pages. Okay, and my title page is this one. Let me fit the page. My title page is this one. What I've done is that I have a title here, I have a subtitle here, and a declaration for a master of thesis over here, some spacing, and then my name, my guide's name, a logo of my institute logo, former institute's logo, and then my institute's address. Not my address, institute, department, institute, from where it is, and the presentation date of my thesis, all of them. All of this entire layout is actually present in the title page, and I've kept this title page in the chapters, so I'm going to tell you guys how to do that. So don't worry, I'll explain you guys what's happening over there in the title page. And then afterwards I included the acknowledgement. Okay, acknowledgement, and the acknowledgement is also included as a chapter, so I just put it as chapter with the star, so that this chapter does not get numbered. this chapter does not get numbered, and then using the input command, I've told the compiler to look for the chapters in this folder chap, inside this folder chap, inside that look for this file acknowledgements.tech. Okay, and to make sure, since this is not numbered, this will not be a part of the table of contents, so you have to add it manually. So with this line add contents line, I am telling the compiler, to add it to the table of contents TOC as a chapter, but not like a chapter, along with the chapter with the number line, and the name to be given as acknowledgements. Okay, and then just a note, this star is actually used for not numbering the chapter, and that's about it. And if you want to add so, and then what else? Then we have the chapter. Then you have a separate option for including the abstract. This abstract is like this. The abstract is like this. All the contents in the abstract, we look at it in a moment. Okay, and then just like how we represented the acknowledgements, we use the chapters as well. After the abstract, to include the table of contents, use this line \table of contents for a full-fledged table of contents, and then \list of figures for a full-fledged list of figures, and then use \list of tables for a full-fledged list of tables. And if you're using the use package, if you're using that minted package for including all the source code, there is I guess there is something called as list of listings, something similar to that, so that you can list all your source codes as well over here. That's also possible. And if you guys want to put definitions or indexes and everything, it's also possible. You can put it at the back, not a problem. And then to include chapters, the main chapters, what I have done is simple. I just mentioned that the chapter name, and then I've included the contents in using this command input. Similarly, if I want to have another chapter, I'll use the same commands over here. Just write the chapter name and then the input file, refer to that. So this way, if you have multiple chapters, you can just use this command and then input the one after the other, and thereby you can separately work the chapters in a separate text file and just import them indirectly. So thereby it causes less mess. Okay, and if you guys want, you can comment it out, and then conclusions. And if you want appendices, in your document, just put the command \appendices, and then all the chapters you include afterwards become appendices. Not bad, huh? And then finally in the template part, if you want to have a bibliography, what you do is that you put the bibliography style on the top, just type bibliography, and just write the bib files name over here. And to make it a part of the table of contents, as you see over here, just include add contents line, TOC, chapter, number line, and bibliography, and make sure this number line is empty so that this bibliography does not get numbered, otherwise it will also get numbered. So be careful about that. And because of this hyper reference option, thing is, if you go to the table of contents, click any part, you can just go to the section just like that. Just click it and you can go to the different sections. And also all these page references are actually colored, and they're also hyperlinked. So if you go back, you can go to different pages. And to include URLs, okay, it's possible. You can include URLs in your bibliography, but if you want them to be colored like these, you see this Wikipedia link, it's pink in color, and it's all. If I click this, it'll redirect me to this web page in my web browser. And if you want this kind of feature to be also present, there is this use package URL comes handy over there. Okay, and presenting the list of figures and stuff, list of tables, list of figures and list of tables, and that's about it. Okay, and that's about it. Now let's look at